Okay. Well, hey, I'm here with the former mayor of Midvale City in Utah, who is my uncle, Robert Hale. And Robert, let's start this. When were you mayor?
I was elected to start a term in 2017, so I ran in 2016 and was elected then and started my term in 2017 through 2021. I served one term,
Nice. And we were just talking about it, you only lost by a few votes on that second term.
201.
Ah, shoot. Just a couple. Just a couple. Well, okay. Well, let me ask you this: how long have you guys lived here in Midvale? I know you've been in this house for a while, but how long is this the only house you lived in Midvale?
No, we actually lived in two apartments prior to that. When we were married, we moved into a basement apartment in East Midvale. And then about a year later, a neighbor across the street that had an above ground duplex
Oh,
said,
that's
"You want
big.
to move over here so you can see the sunrise and set?" Yeah.
Yep.
So we moved into that, lived there for about, I'd say 3 years, maybe tops.
Okay.
And then my wife's grandmother, who lived in this house, had to go to a rest home. And the family said, "We'd really like you guys to take care of the home. We'll let you live there for next to nothing." And it was next to nothing. Just pay the utilities. And so we took them up on that. We didn't have any kids quite yet. Um, so we moved in here in 1973 on the 4th of July. So it's been 51 years and a month and a half.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a good. That's just in this house.
In this house.
And so altogether in Midvale, you're about
55
54,
years.
55.
Hmm.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So
Yep.
obviously you guys like Midvale,
Yeah,
which is good.
it's a good place.
Why? What attracted you to Midvale in the first place? Why did you guys decide to come here? I mean, I know you moved from Murray.
Yeah,
You grew
which
up
is right next door.
right next door, so you're pretty close there.
So that's an advantage. It was just close to where my folks lived and my siblings and as they were maturing, and so it was a good connection there. And then my wife's family also came from Murray. They owned some couple of acres or something where Fashion Place Mall was built, and so they had to sell their property or given a good price, and they bought the lot next door east of us here, and my father-in-law built the house next to us, and so when they moved in there and Grandma was having a hard time with her health, it was not a problem for us to move next door to our in-laws.
You couldn't complain about
No.
that.
So we had, after a while, it was apparent Grandma was not going to come home. And so the family uh, had the property appraised, and we had it appraised by a separate appraiser, and we just split the difference and started making house payments back in 1973, maybe 74.
Before. This is
Yeah.
an awesome house. I remember growing up here and playing in this house, and so it's kind of cool. Because did you guys do any renditions on the other side? Didn't you like add on to
We've
that too?
added twice. We bought it in 73, made the garage addition in 83, and made the additional bedrooms on the east side and family room and all of that in 93. So about every 10 years we had an itch, I guess.
Hey, I mean, you can't complain about that. As long as you love the area, you want to stay here and
Yeah,
make the house better.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. So with 55 years experience, and that's a pretty good amount of experience. I think if I remember correctly, it's only 10,000 hours you become a master at some things. So with 55 years of experience, you're more than a master of Midvale. What would you say? I mean, what's there to do in Midvale? Why would somebody want to move here?
Well, first of all, the name we gave ourselves when I uh, became mayor, the prior mayor sat down with me and I said, "We'd like to come up with a theme for Midvale." And I said, "Well, Mayor Sagini, that was her name, Midvale's in the middle of everything in this valley. Nobody No other city, municipality can move us out of the middle. She said, that's a great theme. In the middle of everything. And so that stuck. And the moniker is on our logo, and that it really is the reason we like it here, because we've got 2 freeways, a tracks line, bus lines, schools, high schools, elementaries, middle schools, special schools. We've got everything a young family would love to have nearby. Shopping centers.
You live by a really good one right here in Fort Union.
Yeah. We've got history. We've got modern buildings. So you've got a real good expanse of history to also live with. And that's been a blessing. You may have noticed my little rock wall when you parked in front of it to come here. That was also built by my wife's grandfather. And according to a little date scratched in the concrete, it was about 1950 that he built that wall out there. Now, at that time, there was nothing but a cornfield across the street and a little orchard of walnuts, a little bit across the street. So it was very rural. We had a horse pasture just to our west. So we had a nice rural flavor out here. The freeway wasn't here when we first moved here, though it wasn't long, and it was starting to be built, and we loved to get on our bikes and ride over to 13th East and ride down the on-ramp, clear to I-15.
That would be pretty fun right there.
That was a lot of fun, yeah. We've seen a lot of change in the time we've been here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking horse pastures over there, I mean, now you've got Hillcrest High School over there, and it's been upgraded twice, 2 or a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, the new school is awesome too.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff here, and that's awesome. As a fan favorite, I guess, is what's your favorite place to eat here in Midvale?
My favorite place, I have to extend it to the valley, because we find good places here in Midvale. We've got excellent Indian restaurants. We've got steak restaurants. We've got, well, within our house here, within our neighborhood, and a quarter of a mile, we've got everything that you can imagine in restaurants.
There are a lot over here.
We got that hot pink place down on the corner for chicken fingers.
Post Malone's.
Post Malone.
I'm trying to remember what it's called. I know what it is. Nope, I just forgot about it.
Skips. Yeah.
Post Malone's though, because it's got Post Malone's face on it.
It does. We just call it Post Malone's. And yeah, we've got that, and we've got the steak place across the street, and sports restaurants, and fast restaurants, hot dogs.
You got J Dogs right here.
J Dogs.
I came up here to Office Max the other day getting some stuff, and I saw J Dogs there, and I love J Dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever your cuisine is preferred, we probably have it here.
There's a lot of food options.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, another question is what would make a first-time home buyer incentivized to buy in Midvale rather than going over to Murray next door and purchasing in Murray or somewhere else in the Salt Lake Valley?
Some of the interior cities in the county are very similar. What would make Midvale special is I think it has more modest pricing. It has a fairly good number of modest priced homes in neighborhoods. It's established. When you move in here, you know where the school is. The neighbors will pick you up right now and start helping you. You've got good schools, churches, community organizations, freeway access, public transportation meets everyone's needs. We got buses that come down from the University of Utah just a block from my house or go to the University of Utah. When we had foreign language students uh, staying here with us, and we had probably 15 over a period of time before COVID, but they would just walk around the corner and catch the bus up to Westminster where their classes were. So convenience of public transportation is about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely really nice to have that right here too.
And whenever we need to go to, like, your uncle, my brother has invited us, and we're going to meet him downtown for dinner tonight. He drives in from Bountiful. We just drive to 7200 South and catch the tracks, and it'll put us off right in the front door. And so for, what's that, $1.50 times 4, $6.
You're downtown.
We can be downtown and back, and I hardly start my car up for that much. Plus all the worry and hassle of rush hour traffic to get down there at 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. The tracks is a good win for that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How are the schools here? I mean, all of your kids have obviously grown up here and gone to school here, and Hillcrest High School is the high school here and which puts you Granite District?
No, Canyons.
Canyons District.
Canyon School District.
How's the school district? How do you feel the school system is here?
Awesome. Especially if you like vocal arts or theatrics. Hillcrest is as good as a school in the entire nation. They've got the awards to show for it.
Yep. Actually, my wife's cousin just graduated a couple of years ago and was in all the musicals out there. He's one of the lead star singers. So he's awesome. So
yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. And we've got season tickets that'll start up within the next 10 days. We'll be going to their shows that the kids are going to be putting on for theatrics.
How long have you guys had season tickets for?
Well, we got them the year I became mayor, or maybe the year before. It's been 5 years probably that we've picked up the season tickets here.
Did you go watch Holiday Inn a couple years ago?
Yeah.
So the lead guy in that was my wife's cousin.
Okay.
Not the one that's dating the girl, but the one that's kind of, I'm trying to think of,
on the side.
On the side, he's the other lead guy singer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my wife's cousin.
Yep.
So
yeah.
We came in down and saw that one. He's pretty good in that show.
Yeah.
Okay, so the school district's good then. You think that it'd be good to? It's not going to be too big to drown out the kids. But it's
no,
gonna help them out.
Not at all. And there's a good mix of ethnic backgrounds at Hillcrest and Midvale Middle, Union Middle, and all of the elementary schools. So you get to know cultures, and you get to know what people like said about them and what they don't like said about them, and you grow in a way that you can get along with people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Because there's a good percentage right here in this city and that come to these schools. And so it's a marvelous way to grow up in a multicultural society coming to these schools.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something you don't get everywhere in the country. So that's a cool thing, especially right here in Midvale.
Yep.
It's a little small city, and that works out awesome.
Yep.
Okay. I think that really is all the majority of my questions. Is there anything else you wanna bring up about Midvale before we close off here?
Well, Midvale's got quite a history. It was it became a city. It was incorporated in 1909. That's the Midvale City. Up here where I live in Union, the first settlers came in here in 1849, 60 years before Midvale was incorporated.
And that's only 2 years after they made it to the valley.
That's right. The Brigham Young sent pioneers out here on Little Cottonwood Creek to get some farmland going and produce food for and a place for their livestock so they could make this valley work. And so it's got a real history. We've got the old Union Fort that used to be just a quarter block east of me here. And when Utah Power, at that time it was Utah Power, wanted to put in a substation, they wanted to do some community recognition. And so they asked me to develop a plaque that would demonstrate the old Union Fort, where it was located and how it got to be there and everything. So up on the southwest corner of the outside wall of the substation, there's a bronze or aluminum or steel, I don't know what it's made up of, a plaque there of my artwork and typography.
Huh.
So it provides some basic outline of the old Union Fort, and it's been a pleasure helping people to understand some of the history, the beautiful history here in this part of the valley. Most of this area had settlers come from Northern Europe, from the Scandinavian, Germanic, British Isles, and those areas there came here. Midvale, where it had the connection with the Bingham mine, had a lot of the southern and eastern European settlers come in there. And so it was a mining type community and railway, because the railroad coming down from Bingham would match up with the railways going north and south up into Salt Lake City or down into central Utah, right there in Midvale.
Yeah.
And so it was a railroad junction, and that's how we got some of the names down there, is Midvale Junction.
Hey, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, sweet.
Yeah, so lots of history,
Lots of history.
lots of modern day creations to tie the past to the present to the future. And that's what I like about Midvale.
And that's, I think, a great place to leave off. Thank you for your time, and hope you guys like it.